Thank you, everyone. My name is Lucinda, and as you heard, my topic is accessibility in software development. Now, we as programmers have learned the art of coding a solution for one problem and in the process creating two more. I will give an outline. The first one is the background as to why I'm so passionate about this topic. Then I will also show how not to do accessibility. I have a demonstration of a good attempt and a demonstration on what a screen reader actually is like. Then I will also give a few quality of life improvements. Now, last year, I worked as a scribe for the University of Pretoria for the visually impaired, and it was specifically for the computer science department. Now, I saw during my experience just how difficult their lives are just on a day-to-day basis, so much so that their 3-year degrees are extended to 6-year degrees. And they receive absolutely no help from the tools they use. One such tool that has become very popular is VS Code. Now, VS Code is a terrible example of accessibility, purely because they boast about their accessibility being great, but it doesn't fully support screen readers because of the community being such a big part of creating extensions. And the initial setup for it requires visual aids. So you have to manually go and enable your accessibility settings without using a screen reader. Then also they have audio feedback for errors and warnings, but those don't have any context. A little example of this is listen to this audio clip. Now I want you to tell me what exactly that error is. It doesn't actually say. So a good attempt at this would be Nano, which ironically enough was made before VS Code. Nano is a terminal-based text editor, which means that screen readers are able to narrate everything displayed. Integration with screen readers are native purely because it's text-based. Setup is straightforward because you can do everything in your CLI, and error messages will always be displayed and will be narrated. And another cool feature is all of your actions and keyboard shortcuts are always on display as well. So once it's read your file, it will read out what you can do next. Then I will give a bit of a demo. So here we have a short little code snippet, and I will just turn on my computer. Just give it a, there we go.
Index.js, tech away, Visual Studio.
Now I'm gonna run this.
C.
And
Clear. Node index. Command succeeded. Hello world.
pretty
My value
annoying,
is
right?
1.
That's what they are stuck with. Then I'm gonna show
Main
you
landmark.
an example of an error.
Blank. A equals blank.
Now, what if I was to start writing an if statement?
F. Index.js.
Okay.
A
And
equals 1.
I forget that I'm writing an if statement because someone can't see that statement is not finished. And now I am greeted with this.
Space. Error.
Just error, nothing else. It doesn't actually say what the error is, which is great. But now I can go into my terminal
Node index.
and execute.
Terminal 1. Node use. Main.
I actually have to save it. My bad.
Node index. Quick fix. D. Graduate Program Takeaway Index.js2 equals 1, syntax error, unexpected identifier at internal compile function, node internals.
Now, again, that is what they have to identify an error with. Did anyone catch that it's a syntax error? Did anyone catch where the syntax error is? No. And that is exactly my point.
Exit and index.
Just to save us all from that. And a few suggestions on how we can improve their experience is, one thing is they don't have the same access we do to documentation. A lot of documentation is online where people don't use ARIA labels at all. So they just have a bunch of text read out to them non-stop on end, mixed with HTML tags as well, by the way. Then another thing would be to make that audio driven. Instead of just showing pictures or code snippets, we actually use ARIA labels, and we give a bit of an audio documentation page almost, so that they can just play the audio themselves and go through it little by little. Then another thing would be to use LLMs for context-driven narrators, so that we can say, for example, with a voice command, jump to this block of text, jump to this code block or this scope, and it will read out not just the code, not just the words, but the logic as well. Or loudly say where there's an error and what the error is. Unfortunately, Copilot is not integrated with screen readers, which absolutely sucks, in my opinion, because that's the perfect tool to help them. And with that, I leave you guys off with a thank you